Simon & Schuster Audio presents The British Imagination, A History of Ideas from Elizabeth I to Elizabeth II by Peter Watson. Read by David Holt. Prologue. Small-time latecomer. Self-inflicted wounds. Despiser of learning. When Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II died in September 2022, her passing brought to an end a long period of British history which has lasted more than 400 years, since the accession of her namesake, Queen Elizabeth I, in November 1588. During that time, Britain's intellectual and creative life had flourished as never before. Having been a small, underpopulated, out-of-the-way backwater riven by tumultuous usurpations of this king and that, and repeated ructions against Rome, it was only under the first Elizabeth that the country finally started to make its way in the world and steadily began to acquire ambition. It would in time become one of the leading nations of the West, a modern concept embracing the more prosperous countries and civilizations grouped mainly around the North Atlantic in Europe and the Americas. By the time Elizabeth II was laid to rest, the world was entering a post-Western phase, with non-Western countries led by China and Russia, but including India and nations in Africa and the Middle East, beginning to make economic and political and cultural progress, while the West, though still prosperous, no longer could be said to dominate the affairs of the world. During the 70-year reign of Queen Elizabeth II, 49 former colonies gained their independence as standalone states. Though this seems like a new situation, and in some ways it is in other ways a return to much earlier times. In the 10th century AD, the famous Arab geographer Ali al-Masudi had this to say about the peoples of Urufa, as Muslims then called Europe: "The warm humour is lacking among them. Their bodies are large, their natures gross, their manners harsh, their understanding dull, and their tongues heavy. The farther they are to the north, the more stupid, gross, and brutish they are." His slightly later colleague, Sayyid ibn Ahmad, Qadi of the Muslim city of Toledo in Spain, wasn't much more impressed. According to Bernard Lewis, the great Islamic scholar, in 1068, 2 years after the Battle of Hastings, Sayyid wrote a book in Arabic on the categories of nations. He found...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?